From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob Take on Chiefs Kingdom, a podcast for fans, by fans, where we don't get fancy, well, not too fancy, with analyzing analytics, yada, yada, yada. We're just two friends talking at a bar about a team we love, and we hope you are talking about it with us.
That's right. I'm Buck. And I'll tell you what, I accept the refs for their flaws, and I'm an all-in supporter of team refs for the remainder of this season.
And I'm Bob, all in for punishment, public punishment.
Still, I guess. You haven't wavered on that.
Nope, I haven't wavered on that.
Good job. Yeah, today we're going to talk about kind of where we are so far this season and kind of how we stack up. I think some of these numbers kind of surprised me when we were kind of putting it together today. So, yeah, let's kind of get in, talk some dirt.
Yeah, yep. Well, we're going to talk about just a few things. We're just kind of going to riff. This isn't one of our normal episodes. This is just a mid-season bi-week blues episode. You know, but so I guess we'll start off with, I had an interesting thing happen to me today. I got to meet a chief randomly.
Yeah, random in the wild.
Yeah. So
how did it happen?
Well, okay, so first off, I noticed faces way more than the average person. I mean, faces, I can't remember people's name to save my life. I forget as I'm shaking their hand. But faces, someone comes on TV, they were in a movie I saw 5 years ago, and now they have a beard and are completely different. I still know who they are immediately. It drives my wife nuts. So I know what a lot of the Chiefs players look like. I mean, even, whereas a lot of people don't because their helmets are on and stuff like that. But I'm at the golf course today and walking right towards the clubhouse is Justin Reed. And I'm like, that's Justin Reed. And they're like, is it? Like, yeah, that's definitely Justin Reed. And he walks in. And he asks if the course had foot golf, which is, I guess, getting popular. It's like frisbee golf, but with soccer balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I go, you're just a Reed. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh man, dude, it's nice to meet you. Shook his hand. I wanted to ask for a selfie so bad, but it's so. He's out there trying to have a good time. He doesn't need to be bothered. And if I ask for one, then the other 5 people in the place would ask for one. And I was just like, I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to so bad. It would have been a great thumbnail for this. Maybe we could just put that in, just a little, we just superimpose it as if I did get a selfie. But then he walks off. And I'm going to walk to my car, and I run into him again. And I just said, dude, I'm sorry to bother you again, but I just want to thank you. You're one of my favorite players on the team, and I just hope you stay here with us for your entire career. And he's like, I want to really bad. And I was like, I was so surprised by how personal and nice he was. I was kind of thrown aback because, a lot of people are very guarded, especially people that famous. And he just stopped to talk to me. And then I was like, you know what? This is dumb, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Pulled out my cards. I was like, I just started a Chiefs podcast. And I don't know if maybe anybody on the team might want to interview or something, but it's really small. We're just starting out, but I'd love you to check it out. And then I thought he'd just take it and be like, yeah, whatever. But then he comes back. He's like, yeah, Buck and Bob. Okay, I would love to check this out. I mean, we travel constantly. It was like, is it on what platform? I was like, everything, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, you name it, TikTok. He was like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. And he was and he was like, what's your name? I was like, Bob. And he was like, nice to meet you, Bob. And I was just like, oh, but it was so cool. I can't believe how nice he was. He was so nice and genuine, looking me in the eye when he's talking to me, seeming like, I mean, the last. So when I met Angelina Jolie, she was very much like that too. Like,
What team does she
actually,
play for?
she
Is that a
plays
Raider?
for. Is that a Raider? I don't know who her team is, but yeah, like I met a lot of people in Hollywood that didn't give me the time of day, but she was nice. And even the next time she was in the office a month later, she remembered my name. So it was just neat to meet him. And yeah, I was on cloud nine. He was
Fanboying.
Yeah, he was playing foot golf with, oh, I forget. It's a player that used to play for the KC soccer team. He recently retired, like the last year or two, but I guess he was really big time. I don't know much about soccer, but yeah. And then there was also two girls from the Current, the women's Kansas City soccer team, and they were shooting some sort of promotional video thing too. And yeah, Reed hit some golf balls before the rest of them showed up, and boy, he could hit the ball too.
I'm sure he can,
dude, athletes. And then it sparked in my head why he was enjoying playing foot golf. I was like, oh yeah, he's a kicker too, not just a safety.
Yep.
Yeah, it was super cool. But yeah, he's super nice guy, and I was starstruck, and he was so kind to give me a few moments of his time. And boy, I wanted to ask for a selfie, but maybe I'll run into him again.
Yeah, I don't know how this stuff just happens to you, man. You're like, oh yeah, I got to wear the Super Bowl ring from the 23 Chiefs. Like, of course you did.
From last
I got to
year.
wear the 22.
Yep.
But that's seriously though, when they're when it's not
Did
just
I tell
one
you
of
that I know the mayor
like,
too?
they come back. And, yeah, I know you know the mayor. Yeah. But when they don't just blow you off and they actually talk to you and like engage.
Yeah.
It's more than just you saying, "Oh, you're great, I love you," and they're coming back with, "Hey, man, thanks a lot." And yeah, I'll actually check this out. And he probably won't, but
yeah, he might not.
If he does, yeah. But
Yeah.
if he did, I mean, that's super cool. Just to even have that interaction.
He seemed pretty impressed with the quality of the card stock of our cards. I'm just saying. I told you we should. We should.
You're right.
It wasn't that much more, and our cards are freaking. I mean, they feel like a real card.
Top notch.
And they're not those little flimsy things, but yeah, it was. I don't know,
Put
man.
the comment section, and we'll send you one.
We didn't get pins. We didn't get shirts, pins, the whole kit and caboodle. But I'm still just on cloud nine.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because this just happened. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's pretty cool.
Yep. And I came in second at a golf tournament this morning. Life's good, man. Life's good. But
and the Chiefs didn't lose this weekend. Woohoo!
Yeah, I mean, they didn't play.
Right.
Well. So okay. Sorry to bring us on a little tangent there at the start, but I just thought that was super cool. And yeah.
And I was actually, a side note, I was approached by a couple of old friends that we've kind of grown distance over the last couple of years. I've had a couple of people over the last few days reach out to me and say that they saw us on one of our clips and they listened to one of our shows and they really liked it and they're going to get more into it. So that's really cool, man. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And please don't hesitate to leave comments.
That reminds me of
and call in the voicemail.
Yeah, 816-866-1066. But you can also send text messages there too, guys. But yeah, so that reminds me, I did a Reese Nichols commercial about 6 years ago or so, something like that. And I remember so many people messaging me on Facebook with like, I swear I just saw a Reese Nichols commercial with you in it. I know I haven't seen you in 10 years, but I swear it was you. And I was like, yeah, that's me. That's so funny. I was the IT guy for Reese Nichols.
Why didn't you tell me?
The marketing team would send me to do the commercials and stuff. Oh, I can show it to you after we record. It's it's still up on YouTube.
To be continued.
But yeah, it was on TV in Kansas City for a bit. But yeah, okay, here. Let's get off of tangents and
talk about the
Chiefs. Talk Chiefs. So first up, most recent rumors that I've heard just today. So Devontae Adams did end up going to the Jets, and now everybody's thinking the Raiders are doing a fire sale, and they're dealing Max Crosby.
I would love that.
Would you?
I would. Yeah, I would absolutely love that. Him on our team, that attitude and that tenacity.
I hate that attitude.
You would hate it for like a game and a half, and then you would be like, by the time the playoffs get here, you would be like, Max Crosby.
Do you not remember how dirty he is, though?
Yes,
like the dirty hits he's put on Mahomes, and I mean, yeah, you do want someone hungry, but I don't know, man. He's scummy, like scummy. Like he is a guy I would not want to hang out with in a bar.
Only because he's a Raider. Like you take on the persona of your team also.
Maybe.
When he
you think he's going to come to the Chiefs and be,
are you
yes,
kidding
sir,
me?
yes, ma'am.
You don't think he would love a chance to get onto a Super Bowl potential team? Super Bowl potential. The Super Bowl almost like in your pocket.
I don't know, man. I wonder if Mahomes actually doesn't like him.
No, I think they have a very mutual respect for each other, and like
I don't know, man. He's done some dirty stuff. I mean, if you asked me last week what defensive player I hate the most, I would probably have said Max Crosby.
Okay, I mean that's man. Is it the most?
I mean, feared? He's amazing. Yes,
is he the most feared? Is it or is like? So he's an ass, but I mean, he's only an ass because he's so good, man. Oh, he's so good. Yeah. Oh man, man. Him and Tyreek, let's get him.
Yeah. Wow. We'd be unstoppable. But okay, so before I move on to why it's not going to happen, let's talk about what it'd be like if it did happen. Because if Max Crosby came to our defensive line and our defense is stopping the run. Like, I don't know. Through 5 games, I don't know that there's been a defense that has stopped the run like we have in maybe
we have
ever.
Gotten better every single game.
Well, I'm saying, but we haven't even gotten better. We can't, like, the only thing that throws the stats off is Lamar Jackson ran all over us. But as far as running backs, we've held some of the best running backs in the league to almost nothing. I mean, Robinson, freaking Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry. I mean, we've held some of the best running backs in the league to nothing. So if we and our pass rush is still pretty good. Like, the stats kind of lie a bit because, like, it's kind of garbage time stuff. It's bend don't break defense, things of that nature. But if we had Max Crosby, I mean, they wouldn't know what to do. They would have to double Max Crosby and Chris Jones, and then Karlaftis. If they managed to stop both of them, Karlaftis would just walk in there and smack the quarterback down.
It would be chaos, man.
It would be absolutely absurd.
God, like you're making me really like, you're not supposed to hope too bad because, like, it's just hope is just some wild fictitious. Hope isn't real. Hope is like, like, I hope the Chiefs win the next 10 Super Bowls. Well, that's not happening. We all know that, right? So it's just, it's a dream. And you're making me grasp it. You're making me think of more than just hope. You're making me like actually feel it, like how great this could be. When it doesn't happen, because it won't happen, my heart is still gonna break. Because
Well, I
you're right. It would be amazing. It would be epic.
I still don't want him. But
I still
he is young, 27. He's already got 5.5 sacks this year. He's gotten more sacks every year. I mean, he's kind of like a Jared Allen. I mean, but I don't know how many years he has left. Maybe 2 more years of that, because remember, Allen petered out,
Yeah.
about
Yep.
what, age 30 or so, 29. So,
That's very hard to maintain. It's a very physically demanding position to
but
maintain that over that
he's like an
that frame
angry
thing.
dog. Like, he's like, if he was a dog, he would be a Rottweiler, and he would be scary. But I
Yep.
mean, if he came, we would be unstoppable on defense, and the NFL would probably have to
They'd
step
make rules.
in and stop it, because the games would just be boring. But also, though, you have to think there's always injuries too. Like just having that depth, would make it so other people getting injured, you can handle that better just because of that
Well, the
depth.
whole reason we're having this conversation right now is because of an injury. If you remember, we have a defensive end named Amenahue that has been on.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now if he's healthy. So,
Well, but also
because he's not that big of an upgrade over.
we
over
have
Amenahue.
to. Ooh, I think he is. Oh yeah. I mean, Max Crosby might be the best pass rusher in the NFL, defensive end.
But Amenahue's up there.
I mean, he's good, but I would say a slight upgrade. I mean, we're talking like an S class player to I would call Amenahue a B plus.
Okay. So, but what we're talking about though is what what we're going to give over what we're going to get, right? So we would have to give the same, whether Amenahue's playing or whether he's not. To get Max Crosby, we're still paying X amount of dollars and X amount of trades, right?
He has a big contract we would be taking on. They would have to restructure some stuff, and it would have to be a play for the future. They're asking for 2 first-round picks, and nobody is going to pay 2 first-round picks. I don't think. No. I mean, it's
maybe for Mahomes.
I mean, so if the Chiefs weren't as smart as they are and going for the three-peat, I think the Chiefs would be the only candidate that would give 2 first-round picks. But the Chiefs are smart. They're playing chess, not checkers. And Brett Veach isn't going to grab like a star. So it's interesting. The thought is interesting, but I just don't think, I don't think we would be giving up. Even giving up a first and a third or a first and a second, I don't like.
But my point is, let's just say we give up a first and a third. So we give up a first and a third now. Our upgrade from our current defensive end would be massive, right? Off the charts. But to give up a first and a third when Amenahue is healthy and playing at your B plus, B minus level, then the upgrade to Max Crosby for that same price isn't worth it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And who knows when Amenahue is going to come back. But so let's do it. Let's get Crosby on this team.
For sure, passing downs, you could just take out the other defensive tackle and have 3 defensive ends on the field with Chris Jones.
You're just selling it, man. The Chiefs need to watch this video.
I think Brett Veach knows. I think we need to learn from Brett Veach. Yeah,
I think too about what he's talking about and what he's doing.
So
okay,
all right. So
I can't argue that.
That would be way too much to give up. There's also, I just don't. it's so hard to think about getting a defensive end when we have receiver problems, and we need to talk about that. But I need to call our first time out real quick. And we're back from timeout. And what I was going to say is the bigger need on this team is wide receiver. And
Absolutely.
I was thinking about it the other day. So remember I told you trading for a wide receiver that hasn't been in the system isn't a great idea for the Chiefs? Remember how I said that?
I do remember how you said that. I'm not fully grasping on that concept, but okay, yeah. I'll let you go on with what you're saying.
Basically, now this isn't just with Andy Reid, but it's especially true with Andy Reid, but it's true of the entire NFL. A receiver coming in to a new system, middle of the year, like middle of the season, most of the time does not pan out unless you get a unbelievably good receiver, but usually they're not able to do the whole playbook. It takes them about, they start seeing progress that next year, and so I didn't want to trade for a receiver that hadn't played with us before. But then I've gotten to thinking I'm kind of open for a trade of people who haven't played for KUC and haven't played in Andy Reid's system, because I started thinking about the Hollywood Brown was on a 1-year deal. This was supposed to be his, proof that he's still got it year. And do the Chiefs re-sign him? I mean, does he want to go with another small deal, 1-year deal again? I don't know. And then on top of that, Rice is most likely looking to be out for the rest of the season, maybe back for playoffs or Super Bowl, but then suspended maybe half of the season next year. Do the Chiefs even pay him? I mean, he's going to be, that's the last year of his rookie deal. He's looking for his payday. Do the Chiefs even pay him, or do the Chiefs just say, like, you know what, this has been more trouble than it's been worth? We haven't had him for half of his rookie 3-year term. Do they even pay him? So we might, I'm talking about the 2020, next year's season. So getting a good wide receiver that we'd keep for the next few years is actually sounding way better to me now that I really kind of put those two receivers into perspective. I mean, we might not see them play as Chiefs again. I mean, it's possible the Chiefs just waive Rice at the start of the season next year. They probably wouldn't. They would probably try and use him as trade bait or something of that nature, but it's possible. I mean, we need to build for the future, I think. So getting any receiver that's really good, I'm kind of down with now.
So, okay, of when that episode where we talked about receivers a couple of weeks ago, the one guy on your list that I was really kind of high up on,
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen, absolutely. And the reason that I think that he would be thanks. So useful though is he is a catch first guy. He is known for his hands. It's almost like he's got super glue like on his fingertips, man. And with the way that Patrick Mahomes is always running around, he's keeping the plays active, or at least trying to. I don't think that's as effective this season as it has been in the past, but still, if he's able to scramble around a little bit and he's a dependable guy to throw to. You can start him off real easy with some really easy routes on some, in some different formations, where he's, he doesn't have to do any complicated, crazy shit that is going to take him some time to learn. You can get him integrated into the system fairly quickly in a couple of weeks. By the time the playoffs come, he's a smart guy. I think that there's a huge upside to that kind of guy. Now, when you're talking about like a Tyreek
He's
Hill kind of guy,
34 though.
I understand that. But he's still got hands, right?
I feel like I'd rather go for a Cooper Cup from the Rams. I mean, he still has hands, yeah.
And Cooper Cup, I would say, is still a receiver kind of guy. I mean, he's definitely got skills. He's faster.
And he's
And
also
that's
31 too, though. You know, it's still kind of
that's
scary.
cool. But I'm more worried about the guys just making the catches. If Mahomes gets the ball to them, are they going to make the catch? That's my biggest deal, and I think those kinds of guys could kind of help us bridge the gap to what's going to happen next. I think with the way that Rice is handling himself, at least as we see it as fans so far this year, the way that he's played on the field and with the way that he's handling this situation, I think the Chiefs take a chance on him and sign him to a bigger deal next year. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Hollywood Brown ever actually play a game as a Kansas City Chief.
Yeah,
I really,
it's very possible.
I'm really kind of thinking that's kind of the way things are going. But I think the Rashee Rice situation is, I'm very optimistic about his future on this team. So to add a bridge piece like Thielen or Cup or DeAndre Hopkins is another potential guy out there, right? I mean, those guys are known for catching the ball, and that's what I want. Somebody that's dependable, and has a proven track record.
Tyreek Hill.
I mean, Tyreek Hill is my number one.
He's
because,
also 30 too.
He's the best
30,
receiver
not
out of that
32,
group,
30.
and he knows the system.
Yeah.
So,
I
absolutely.
mean, Tyreek would come in and be huge
Is he
for
really
this
30?
year. He's really 30.
Damn.
Cooper Kupp's 31 and Adam Thielen's 34. Adam got old fast. Jeez.
Yeah, he did.
But also you got
Seems like only yesterday.
It's just I don't know. I honestly think Hollywood has a better chance of staying with the Chiefs next year than Rice. Rice
Really?
is
A
gonna,
better chance?
yeah, because Rice is gonna cost money. Hollywood, it's very possible that, especially if the team doesn't break up too much after our three-peat, Hollywood's gonna just be like, you know what? I already moved here. I live at Two Light downtown. I have been learning the Chiefs offense and Andy Reid's system for the past, now year and a half. I'll go ahead and take one more vet min deal and just see if they're willing to pay me the next year. I mean, I think that's very possible.
I just don't think. I think with this injury to Rice really, really hit him at the worst time, man, because he's got the suspension coming.
Yep.
I think the Chiefs are willing to wait out the suspension.
I don't know if
and give him a deal, but he's not going to be so expensive because he really hasn't been able to prove it. I mean, he did prove it for the games that he was in, but that's not enough.
But
that's
other teams are going to offer him big money. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, I mean, Hollywood's only 27. I think Hollywood might think, all right, I can prove myself this year and get a payday from Kansas City or somebody else, and Kansas City is going to be a good option. I
think a lot of this is also going to have to
Rashee
do
Rice is probably a no-go, and I think he's going to prove to be more trouble than he's worth at the end of the day.
Maybe, but like I said, the way his supposed turnaround, he's in an upward trajectory, and I love that. But I think a lot of this also depends on what happens with Worthy the remainder of this year. How does he progress? Because he definitely needs to progress. He's got natural speed. He's got a natural eye of where to turn when he's going into traffic, but his route running leaves a lot to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see Mahomes really targeting him all that much, which tells me that Mahomes probably doesn't trust him as much as he trusts Smith-Schuster or all the other receivers, or Kelsey, or Noah Gray. I He almost seems to be like the oh shit, or if there's a gadget play that involves his speed,
Yep.
they'll throw that in there. But if he progresses, it could be worse for Rice. But I'm on team. I think Rice has more of a chance to stay next year than Hollywood Brown.
I think
But
Rice is
I see your
definitely the
point.
better receiver. I just don't think the numbers are going to work out because I think other teams are going to bid on Rice more than we're willing to give up for the trouble we've ensued with him, basically.
Maybe
But I don't know.
time will
Also,
tell.
Hollywood Brown has been kind of an injury-prone wide receiver for his whole career. So it's rough. It's rough, but we'll just have to see. I think there's a chance that, we need to rebuild wide receiver. So I don't know.
Yep.
What
Yep.
what else have you been stewing over in the during the bye week blues?
So I got a question for you here. I was kind of going over some of Mahomes' numbers, right? He's been struggling this
Hopefully you didn't
year.
look at interceptions. Ooh.
I looked at them all. So I kind of figured out how he's performing on a per game basis. And then I projected that out for 17 games. So if I told you at the beginning of the season that Mahomes is going to get 4,000 yards, is that a good year for Mahomes?
I've looked this.
4,000.
I've
Have
looked
you?
into this too. Basically, if you took it and he had the same thing he's had for these first games, he would have about 4,000 yards, and
About 4,200.
he'd have
20
20
20
interceptions and 20
touchdowns and
TDs.
20. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. And sacked 30 times.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes he's definitely struggling right now. I know he said that, he's trying to get to where he's going back to throwing where the receiver's going to be instead of right on the receiver's chest, because that was what was plaguing him off the beginning. But I don't know if it's the defensive line or the offensive line, or if it's just Mahomes is thinking, believing in his own magic. I don't know, but it is a little worrisome that most of our troubles have been because Mahomes has put us in that trouble, which is so not like it used to be. And it does have me
100%.
It does have me worried, and I hope he's not getting in his own head either, because that could be bad too.
Well, here's another thing though that you've brought up, and I love this point because I don't think it is being looked at the way that it should. But Mahomes is definitely staring down receivers.
Mhm.
He's just glued on to the guy that he's going to throw to, except for when the play breaks down, and that's when we've seen him be a little more successful when the play breaks down, because then he doesn't even know who he's throwing to at that point. So how could you possibly know? He needs to get back to that though, and I think that's a symptom of the offensive line, though. I think that right now he just doesn't have any real trust that pocket is going to be there, so he's scrambling quicker. So he just doesn't have time to go through his progression, and I think it's going to take some time with this line till he has an understanding of how long he really has to stay in that pocket. But that's going to also need that they're also going to need to be more consistent with how they play.
It's just so bizarre with how I remember saying about him in his first few years how impressed I was that he was already acting like a vet, not staring down his receivers. I mean, Robinson who I said we should trade for, remember, is that guy with that first no look pass that everybody was like, woo. But I honestly think, and I could be completely wrong, I think Mahomes is doing too much in the offseason. I think he's doing too many commercials. I think he's doing too much other stuff. And I think he's being a good dad. And I think that is impeding, because what he used to do when he was younger is he'd have, I don't think I've heard about it for the last 2 years, but he used to have Mahomes camp where he would get the guys out for like 3 weeks. They would stay in one area and just be backyard football, passing the ball, staying after with Tyreek Hill, working on routes, staying after with Kelsey. And I don't know that he's done that with Worthy. I don't know that he's done that with the new guys. And I wonder if those off-field things are kind of starting to creep in, and maybe it's time to cut, you hate to say it, but maybe it's time to take the off-field stuff off the table, at least during the season, and, really buckle down and get back to throwing with your wideouts. I mean, I could be wrong. He could have done Mahomes camp and I don't even know about it, or I didn't hear about it. It's hard to know, but I feel like there might be a little too much.
Who has that conversation with him? I mean, there's not anybody that's going to tell one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, hey, man, you're hanging out with your family a little too much. We're going to need you to focus a little bit more on this team.
And I know, and it feels bad because he's a really good dad, too. I mean, really good dads don't often become the best quarterback in NFL history. I'm just saying. Pretty sure Tom's not the best dad in the world.
I literally was thinking that, and then I was like, I'm not going to say this right now. I'm not going to say.
It's speculation, but
it is.
I mean, his wife did leave him
supposedly
because he wouldn't spend time with the family. So
yeah, his family didn't break up because he was spending too much time at home.
Yeah, so you have to. I mean, you got to make weird sacrifices, for greatness. And
I'll tell you what, man, I'm not going to tell Patrick Mahomes how to run his family, how to run his life off of the field.
I'm not telling him not to spend. Yeah,
when he's won the last two Super Bowls.
Let me clarify. I'm not saying, I just pointed out that was something he was doing a lot more extracurricular. I'm saying cut out the commercials. I'm not saying cut out the family at all. Keep being a great dad, but you have more money than you're ever going to know what to do with. You're part owner of the Royals, the current. I mean, you're sitting on a gold mine. Just maybe less commercials and things of that nature. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't take up as much time as it feels like, but it's a bad look when you're performing the way you're performing. And we give Kelsey a pass, but I mean, Kelsey can't catch the ball if it's not thrown to him, and the ball wasn't being thrown to him.
Right.
So, you kind of give him a pass. The quarterback, unfortunately, everything falls on your shoulders. And it's looking like he's not as ready as he has been in the past.
Look, I'm definitely not going to say that Mahomes' off the field life is what's to blame for this. I'm still definitely leaning more towards the whole offensive line just being a crazy mess, and he's got to learn how to deal with it. So
it's a cornucopia of all these things, of course, right?
Yeah, maybe.
But
maybe.
I don't know. I'm in the bye week blues right now.
Another 5-yard or a 5-touchdown game. That's what I want to see. Another 5-touchdown game with less than 5 interceptions because that's where we're at right now. So,
well, we have to get better at getting TDs in the red zone. And I don't think at the moment, I don't think we're a passing TD in the red zone type of team.
no, but I feel pretty comfortable with our running game though at the moment. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but I definitely want to see more through the air at this point. I love where our running game's at. Cool. Let's put that on autopilot and throw more.
I don't know. I think
That's my
I mean
take.
more play action maybe. I mean, we've turned back into like a little smash mouth team, and give Mahomes a little bit more confidence. I think he might have lost some confidence in maybe himself, maybe the receivers. I mean, last year
line.
had to do a number on him about trust in your wide receivers, because last year most of the picks were on the receiver and not on him, but most of the picks this year have been on him. Yeah.
To my memory, only one of the picks so far this year was on a receiver. That was the most recent one. To New Orleans.
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu.
No, what's his name? No, he used to play for us. The defensive tackle that runs like a bowling ball.
Oh yeah. His brother was a
starts with an S. Yeah. I don't know. Leave it in the comment section, guys. Help us out with some comments.
Yeah.
But Saunders.
Yeah.
Yep. That dude can do backflips. If he would have just done the big guy dance and then done a backflip, that would have been on ESPN that would have been on the Monday Night Football, opening highlight thing.
Yep. During the opening song.
Yep, the opening song. Yep. Oh
the
man.
Intro. Yeah.
That would have been great. But I don't know. Bye week blues. I hate bye weeks. I hate my Chiefs not being in.
Yeah.
My fantasy team is very homer, so I
struggled this week.
Yeah. Well, and I picked up Caleb from the Bears. He's had 30 plus points the last two weeks. Caleb Williams, the quarterback. And I'm sitting there going, I've got Mahomes.
You gonna start him over Mahomes
has had
next
15
week?
Points every week. I don't know. It might.
I'm not coming over for the game this Sunday if you pick Williams over Mahomes. I cannot, in good conscience, watch the game with you while you're rooting for another quarterback.
I'm just saying. Well, it's not playing against us. We're playing the Niners, but we'll talk about that in the next episode in our pregame.
Yes, we will.
I think that's it for me today. I mean, this is a short one, but it's bye week blues.
Oh, I've got four more things to talk about before we go.
All right, let's do it.
No, I'm just playing with you, buddy.
All right, well, guys, don't forget to follow us everywhere. You can get all of our links at linktree/Buk and Bob. That's linktr.ee/BUKNBOB. If you want to send us a voicemail or a text, it's 816-866-1066.
Do it.
Yeah, if you want to email us, it's buckandbob@gmail.com. And if, help us out, guys. We're trying to get the word out about the podcast. I don't know. I have very successful gaming podcasts. I know how to market those. I have no idea how to market this. Help us out. Tell people about it. Share the videos. Share the shorts. Those seem to be pretty popular on YouTube. Share it around Reddit's, any, Chiefs Facebook group you're in, whatever. Just
when you're hanging out with your friends, be like, hey, look at these two idiots, man. They're wrong about everything. Check this out.
No.
Show them.
When you go to Walmart, just yell out, Buk and Bob take on Chiefs Kingdom for life, baby. Just do weird stuff like that. Just get the word out and help us out there. And
do that tomorrow.
we're having a really good time and hoping to keep this going. And I'm my football IQ just keeps going up with this show, and it's making everything more enjoyable. And so I'm excited. But Buck, where can we find you?
As always, I'm on Facebook, and you can find me on Twitter. It's at Buck_tastic, BUK_TASTIK.
And you can find me on Twitter/X at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. And you can find this podcast on X at BUKNBOB. Buck and Bob everywhere. Give us a follow. Send us your thoughts, and yeah, we're gonna get out of here for tonight.
And thank you for the listens and watches so far. We really, really appreciate it.
Yep, and shout out to our good friend Damien, who lost his Lions' best pass rusher, probably the best pass rusher in the NFL. Lost him to a horrible injury last week, and we make a lot of fun, but we really, our heart goes out to you. Our heart goes out to the Lions. You guys are kind of like us, struggled forever and have a good team now, and it sucks to see that.
It does, man. We're sorry. Yeah, but go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. And yeah, no injuries anywhere. Let's stop having, we say no to injuries. What do we say to injuries? Not today.
Not today. All right.
Bye, guys.
Hasta la vista, baby. We'll be back.
I'll be back. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.